Annabelle?
Yes, hi. It's an honor to be amidst the authors here, and I want to thank Valerie and Vincenzo so much for doing the yeoman's work in getting this book together. And my chapter is called Contemplative Psychology and Imagery. You might notice a thread between what we've said so far, and I think that thread is wisdom. And my chapter is how imagery, or thinking in internal sensations with a focus, is a contemplative practice. And what's the purpose of contemplative practices? Well, from a contemplative psychology perspective, it's to transform the inner world, such that the Atman from Vedic philosophy, which is the spiritual self, such as the deep self from Jungian psychology, such that that spiritual focus within us can be active and we can hear it. But day to day, we don't hear that. Day to day, we're in Hinduism, of course, again, there's the idea of the chitta or the mind stuff. The mind stuff's just going and going and going, and we don't have this deep awareness that Luann was talking about, this embodied mindfulness. And so transformation is necessary. And so my chapter is about how to use imagery to do that. And archetypes are an amazing, powerful human technology for doing that. You know, we all live in front of an archetype. There's an archetype that organizes our personality, and our ego is attached to that. And so our ego likes archetypes. So an archetype is an energy pattern, a way of being, a discernible characteristic. You know, when we think about Marilyn Monroe, we think about a seductress. When we think about Hercules, we think about a hero. So when we visualize an archetype, any archetype will do. There's a famous Jungian analyst called Marie-Louise von Franz, and she says every archetype contains every other one. So it doesn't matter which one we choose. It's like a prism that opens the unconscious and releases this cheetah, releases the ego control of our inner world. And so my chapter gives you a little theory. I call it the mind-body wisdom theory. It gives you a little psychodynamics, this natural process of consciously identifying with archetype. You know, Jung says unless we open our unconscious, we'll always be controlled by unconscious forces. We can't live an ethical life. We can't live a spiritual life. So visualizing an archetype is a natural and actually kind of fun, sometimes way of transforming it into the inner world so that we can be in touch with our spirit self. So my chapter gives some theory, it gives some imagery practices, and it gives some pictures of archetypes. So you can actually experience what it's like to have this deep process of opening the unconscious to listen to your spiritual self. And I hope the chapter's for anyone. It's for academics, because it doesn't have a theoretical model. It's for practitioners. They could use this with their clients. And it's for a person that wants a deepened spiritual sense of being.